All right, Rams. Today is Tuesday, and your homework is over coordinate planes. Okay, here is a little QR code for a song that if you'd like to watch it, you're welcome to scan that whenever you like. You're not going to do the problems on the back of this page right now because part of this standard says you graph points in all four quadrants, but you graph rational numbers, and that's the fractions and decimals. We'll be learning fractions and decimals next week. We're working on the part now that are about the integers. Remember, those are the positive and negative numbers on a number line. So a couple of things, we're just going to label parts of our coordinate plane here. I'm going to raise up a little bit there for you, okay? Now, on our coordinate plane, you notice we have a number line here. This is the same kind of number line that we've been using in class. That's a horizontal number line, but it also has a vertical number line across here. Now in elementary, you learn about coordinate planes, and really you just do quadrant 1. Okay, mostly all positive numbers, unless your teacher just kind of helped you out and got you ready for this year. But in 6th grade, we zoom way out here and we have 4 quadrants to work with, okay? Now this point in the middle where the two number lines meet, it's called the origin. O-R-I-G-I-N. Now, the ordered pair for that, an ordered pair is named after its location. So the ordered pair is 0, 0. And we put those in parentheses. Okay? Every ordered pair is a location. That's where they get their names. All right, so we have the two number lines, but they have names. Okay, the one that goes across here, like the number lines you've been seeing in class, the horizontal number line, is called the x-axis. Okay, the vertical number line is called the y-axis. Okay, so I talked about the quadrants. I mentioned those a second ago. Well, a quadrant, the word quad, means 4. So we have quadrants 1, 2, 3, and 4. They're numbered kind of funny though, so I want you to pay very close attention. If you think about a clock, just a circular clock here, an analog clock, and where the 1 would be on a clock is in the upper right-hand side. That is where quadrant 1 is on your coordinate plane. So we write quadrant 1. Now quadrants are written with Roman numerals. Okay, so it looks like an I. Okay, now they don't go the same direction that the numbers go on a clock. So your quadrant 2 is actually going to be the opposite direction. They make a big C. They start here and go around. So quadrant 2 is up here in the top left. Now a 2 with Roman numerals looks like I, and they're connected. Okay, quadrant 3, we just keep continuing around. It looks like I. And then quadrant 4, we write a 4 a little bit differently with Roman numerals. It is IV, because with Roman numerals, the V is a 5, so it's 1 less than 5. Okay? Now you may think, okay, why do I need the quadrants? Well, sometimes there's a question that may say, what quadrant would this point be in? So it is important that you need to know those, okay, or that you are able to identify them. Okay, so I'm going to zoom out just a bit here for you. Okay, a couple of things to remember here. An ordered pair is named after its location. So we write an ordered pair with our parentheses. Okay, just like I showed that 0, 0. The first number is your x value. That tells you how far left or right you go. The second number is your y value. It tells you how high up or down you go on your y-axis. Okay, some teachers in elementary may have taught you a couple of different phrases. One of them says you crawl before you walk. Okay, you go left or right before you can go up or down. Some people say you have to walk into an elevator before you can go up or down. Okay, I've heard students tell me lots of these things over the years. Whatever works for you, as long as you know that the first number is your x value. It tells you how far you travel along your x-axis. Okay, so we have 4 numbers we're going to plot here. Okay, and we're going to label these on our coordinate plane. Okay, point A is -3, 5. So every time you always start at the origin, and the first number is negative, so you're going to go left in the negative direction. So you start here, we're going to go over 1, 2, 3. You see that -3 there? And then the second number is positive, so we're going to go up 5 spaces. So we're going to go over to -3 and up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this point is where -3 and 5 meet. And we would label that point A. Okay, that's pretty simple. The next one, B, point B is 4, -5. So the first number is positive, so we're going to go to the right 4 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, my second number is negative, so I'm going to go down this negative number line. So over 4 and down 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We put a dot right on that point, and we call it point B. Now, if you're putting a dot between the points, that means you're going to have a fraction or a decimal. So be careful. Okay, this next one is letter C. It's going to be a tricky one because it says 0, 4. Well, how do you plot something like that? Okay, this means my first value is x. That tells how far left or right I go. So if that number is a 0, that means I'm not going to go left or right at all. I'm only going to go up 4 spaces. So I'll stay on this y-axis and go 1, 2, 3, 4. It's right here on that vertical number line. So that's point C. And the last one, I kind of gave you a little bit of a tricky one there. It has a fraction in it. Just once you start thinking a little bit ahead there, okay? So it's -6, -2.5. Start at 0 and go over 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spaces in the negative direction. Now 2.5 spaces in the negative direction. So there's 1 space, 2 space, a half of another one. You notice this one is between those 2 lines. So I went over 6 and down -2.5. That's point D. Now we have a point in all of your quadrants. Quadrant 1, both of your values will be positive. Okay. Quadrant 2, your x value is negative, your y value is positive. So your first number is negative, the second one's positive. Quadrant 3, both numbers are negative. In quadrant 4, the first one is positive, that's your x, and your y value is negative. Okay? So we're going to come into class tomorrow. As long as this is done, we're going to play a game in class with plotting points where you're going to compete with a partner and another team. Okay? So make for sure that you remember how to plot these points. Okay? Have a good night.